And welcome, everyone. Please take your seat. There's a few spaces here in the middle. I hope you're having a really good time at DrupalCon Europe. I'm here to present the talk about building a platform. Oh no, I can't read my slides. Building a platform to bring people together to celebrate Drupal. I clearly have not prepared for this. So this is the story about Celebrate Drupal. Hi, my name is Dan Lemon. I work as a developer for Amazy Labs. I enjoy hip-hop, speaking French, breaking production servers, and snowboarding. So, what does it mean to celebrate? Have you ever stopped for a second to really think about what it means to celebrate? The definition is to observe a day or commemorate an event with ceremonies or festivities. So, commemorate an event with festivities? What event could that be? How about the release of Drupal 9 and the festivities? Well, that is what I wanted to find out. So, celebrations, they can be both planned and unplanned, happy and somber, large and small. People celebrate to mark the time, to intentionally create a memory. Planned and unplanned could be between birthdays or just a last-minute invite from a friend to catch up over a few drinks. Somber could be like a funeral, which is more of a celebration of life. And happy is, well, yeah. Celebration for me means sharing a moment with others, whether it be with friends or absolute strangers, or you here at DrupalCon. The shared occasion takes you to a feeling of joy and connectedness. Or perhaps you're just happy when celebration for me is when I'm able to get chocolate ice cream. So, why do we celebrate? Or better put, why should we celebrate Drupal? Drupal 9 marked the last migration. We should no longer need to do any large, complex data wrangling migrations that we did to go from Drupal 7 to Drupal 8. A lot of old code was deprecated during Drupal 8 and then removed in Drupal 9. We upgraded a few of the main dependencies, such as Symfony 3 to 4.4. And for the last 20 years, we have been continuously improving Drupal and raising the bar. We really should celebrate this. So I set out with my plan. I searched for any event that was planned for some sort of Drupal 9 release party. However, I found nothing. I asked in Slack, and everyone was occupied with the pandemic affecting them in different ways. We were in lockdown in many countries. And I wanted to celebrate the launch of Drupal 9 together as a community. But also because I believe by celebrating something each day, you reinforce positive vibes, and in turn, other people around you may become happier as a result. So here we are, April 10th, 2020, 54 days until Drupal 9 is launched. I didn't have much time. I needed to figure out what I wanted to build and how. However, whatever I wanted to build is going to need some design. So let's jump into our little story. Chapter 1, design. Steven. I'm not a designer, so I needed to learn the basics of design, and I came across quite a lot of different topics. So I started my quest with design fundamentals, heuristics of user interface and principles for usable design. Then I learned a little bit about typography, font pairing and sizing, layout, white space, composition, grid, scaling, rules, golden rectangle, for example, color theory, dark variants, pairing, but design more like why it's different to print design. I found many different articles about this. And as a developer, I don't really tend to focus on the intricate design and the alignments of things, even if I'm a front-end dev at times and at other times. Creative thinking, stealing from other artists or techniques to get you into the creative mindset. This one I liked a lot. Motion design, subtle animations to draw attention. Prototyping, wireframes to usable prototypes in black and white. Testing, usability tests, A/B testing designs. And finally, information architecture, site structure, user flow, user journey, content modeling, user guidance. This was a lot of different things to try to learn in 54 days, as well as build a website and a whole platform around it. So I just wanted to learn the basics, like 1 or 2 paragraphs about each thing, and maybe like an hour talk from someone famous in the community. I used a few tutorial websites, such as landui.design and hackdesign.org. I found them really helpful and really down to like comprehensible that I could understand it. Also the Tailwind CSS documentation, and they have a little design video tutorial, which was really nice. I only wanted to know the basics, and I felt motivated by the challenge to learn something new in a very short amount of time. For creation and collaboration on the designs, I decided to go with Figma because it was free to use, and it's, well, I don't need to download anything, even though they have a native app. So I started with the original desktop version of Celebrate Drupal 8.com, which a few members of the community shared this with me. I had no idea on this website before, and I didn't celebrate Drupal 8. I wasn't around. I didn't even know that there was a website for this. So I was kind of surprised when I looked through it and saw so many people that I've recognized from different events, and it was great fun to watch the videos of the team from Amazy and Trees, and also Nico with cutting his beard. I had some inspiration from them. So how I started with this was I took screen captures of both the desktop and the mobile version, just so I have that clear, and I added this to Figma. I then performed a screen test on mobile and desktop to see like what popped out most from the design. I kind of noticed that the purple call to action to submit a video in the top right corner in the header was what popped out most for me. And I didn't really like that because if I go to every single page, I always have that in front of me, and I really just didn't like this effect. Yeah, so that's what the screen test is more, just to see what pops out. Then from this, I decided to base and just steal some ideas on laying out some section components and some hero and so on in a kind of wireframe block to visualize the layout structure. And then that's probably an ambulance. I don't know if you can hear it, but I will try to mute for a second. Yeah, so sample text length. Basically, I wanted to just have an idea of how much content am I going to have on each of these sections. So I used Lorem Ipsum, and just to have an idea, like if I have 3 lines in the first area, does it still look nice, or do I need to limit it somehow on the front end or on the back end? And just to see if the layout's going to shift, do I want it to shift? So I asked a lot of questions to myself. And this helped visualize if the blocks work well together with semi-realistic content in a sense. Then I aligned everything in kind of a grid layout, just because I don't want to go with brutalist designs, but it just adds more clarity and flow. If you're reading a website and you scroll down and everything's always aligned, you don't notice it, but when there's one or two things kind of 3 pixels to the left or to the right, you suddenly feel like it's a bug. It doesn't look right. So you just get distracted by this. After this, I added some colors just to have an idea of like how the different colors would interact with each other and visualize the contrasting. These are two generic colors I didn't really go with, but it was more to have an idea of, yeah, I want each section to be slightly colored differently and each time to be a different thing. And yeah, here's what the design looked like before I started to work on the front-end theme. So I also added a bit more like example images. So I had a feeling of I want things to look like, and this is not at all a finished design. This is the design that I did just for fun. I mean, I didn't really focus much on the mobile design, and I'm sure any designers watching this talk are going to be like writing me later to say, hey, you missed out so many different things, you're breaking so many rules, but you know what, I had fun and I just did it for that. And here's what the final design currently looks like on the website, which after it's been live since, well, I can't give it away, but it's been live for some time. I mean, before Drupal 9, of course. And yeah, I already don't like it. I don't like the header. I don't like these sections on the right sides, these big squares, this login area. I need to fix that. It shouldn't be there. But yeah, maybe that's a good sign if you don't like your designs after you've learned something new. And yeah, unfortunately now every time I look at a website, I criticize it silently, which I never did before. So here we are. 2 weeks has passed in that little monologue of me talking about design. 40 days until Drupal 9 is launched. We're on April 24th. I only have design so far and kind of a simple basic repository created, but it's like very slim. It's just Drupal 9 beta 2. So let's jump into the development, or better, deprecation, because Drupal 9 was all about that, right? How to build out a Drupal website before the official launch. So in order to build out a Drupal 9 project before the official release, I had to use the beta channel with release, which at the time was 9.00 beta 2, which was pretty stable. I didn't really have any issues switching between updating. I kept everything up to date. If I saw a release happening like within the last 10 minutes, I would try to update because why not? I kept contrib modules to a minimum, mostly because none of them were ready and I didn't really feel like trying to patch or fork them just for this website. But I did contribute back a few of those core key YAML file changes that you needed to do just to get the Drupal 9 module ready. And I keep custom code to a minimum. I wanted it to be just a stock website with nice, hopefully nice front-end theme, where people could collaborate and add their own images and celebrate Drupal in whatever way they feel is necessary. So the tech stack I used was Tailwind CSS, which was a fantastic talk yesterday, which I highly recommend to go and watch. Laravel Mix, which is more of like an opinionated Webpack builder. But it was a bit overkill. I didn't really need this because I only built out the Tailwind CSS, which is a post CSS setup. I didn't end up with any JavaScript. I didn't need to minify any assets or generate SVGs or anything like this. So I really didn't need Webpack, but it's there in the theme, and everything is open source. So feel free to like learn from it if you can, or write bugs. No, don't write bugs. I mean, create issues for bugs that I created. SQLite for local development, just because I find it much faster to develop natively on PHP. I run on Mac, in case you haven't noticed in the top corner. Yeah, it's just faster than loading Docker because generally I only need to use the database for exporting some site changes, and That's it, at least for local development. Then I have pull request environments that I can play with when I have more realistic content that I share with other people for testing. So yeah, now we are 15 days until Drupal 9 is launched. It's May 19th, 2020. Up to this point in time, I had worked a lot on site building, some backend tweaking, sample content creation, basic theming via Tailwind CSS. I did everything openly and regularly posted my updates to Drupal Slack. I did have some people show interest in helping out, but they were busy with work and private things, and I was totally fine with that. At the end of the day, we're all just volunteering our own time, and I highly value every second that anyone is able to give, even to you now watching this video. I really appreciate this. Yeah. So, chapter 3, marketing, well, teamwork, because I was going in alone at the moment and I needed a team to get this ready in time. So with just under 2 weeks until Drupal 9 was due to be released, I started to realize that my goal to release the website at least 1 week in advance was looking a bit bleak. I needed to reach out to the community for support. I had a few people who were interested in helping. I set up an onboarding meeting for everyone.
This is a quick intro to the Celebrate Drupal project.
This is the onboarding video I did, and I guess it stuck in the sound.
Hi, this is a quick intro to the Celebrate Drupal project. I have not prepared any speaker notes or anything, and I'm just going to read quickly from my slides that I've prepared in the last 5 minutes. So, quick agenda. I want to give my reason why I'm building this project and the current state and how you can contribute. So why would I build the Celebrate Drupal project? I strongly believe we should celebrate the launch of Drupal 9 together as a community, and we need to be as inclusive as possible. We already have this global community and contribute ecosystem, so let's get together remotely given the time with COVID pandemic and so on. We may have future things we want to celebrate, and therefore we need a platform for this. Current state of design, I used Figma because I wanted to learn this, and it's open. Anyone can look at the link. I wanted to learn a bit about design and also the Drupal admin theme, and the Drupal design system is all on Figma anyway. For the development, I started with a organization using Drupal celebrations as the name, and then I added the repository Celebrate Drupal 9. I will probably rename this because it's going to be a Celebrate Drupal for a long-term thing and not just specified directly to Drupal 9. So I also wanted to make sure that everything is open source and available to everyone. I started with Drupal 9 as a base, and I aimed to stick to as many core modules, a few contrib, and a few very small custom modules when I need them, or when we need them, and a custom theme with minimal stable 9 base theme. Then I just override a bunch of templates and add in Tailwind classes so that I can style the project. For the content, since I'm basing a lot of my inspiration from the previous project, which was CelebrateDrupal8.com, hosted by platform.sh, I decided to continue with using the same account there, and I currently have it on this master tier 7 blah 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 site, but eventually it would be celebratedrupal.org. Thanks to the Drupal Association for getting that for me. And yeah, I want to just inspire and engage the community to be able to collaborate. So how can I contribute? You can join the Drupal Slack, the hashtag D9 launch channel. You could contact me wherever you find me, and create and contribute on GitHub issues. So that's my quick overview of the onboarding. current state. So this is the Celebrate Drupal 8 project, where I bring a lot of inspiration from because this was a really nice project. Here's the design overview. I was teaching myself a bit about design using like the squint test, reading about grid, inspiration, checking the Olivero theme, the Drupal design system, branding colors. Currently, I just have a couple basic ones. Yeah, and ended up with this as my idea of a way as a homepage. It's not so attractive or sexy, but it's simple. The Drupal 9 repository is here. I have a few things. So anytime I merge into master branch, it does an automatic deployment to platform SH. I've created a bunch of issues, and I try to use the idea of checklists, and then I can check them off when they are done. And I try to work on the website as in a GitHub project and move things along. But yeah, I've been doing most of this on my own for the moment, and it's been a bit chaotic, let's say, because I prefer that kind of approach. This is what my local development looks like. Just have an idea of where things are. I left the border gray shadow, just dashed border, just so I have an idea of where things end and can align things correctly. And here's what the actual project looks like on production. We need to focus on finishing and finalizing the content. Thanks for your time and look forward to seeing your contributions or just any feedback you have for me.
Cool, thanks. I have no idea who that person was. I don't recognize them at all. So yeah, I did that onboarding video and a bunch of people joined and wanted to help out, and that was amazing. I just want to highlight each member of the team. We met several times in the final week before we launched the website. So there was Ashish Yang from the Drupal partner at AdWeb Solution. There was also Betty Sonia Breithat, CEO, co-founder of 1x Internet. Christoph Josat, developer at Easy Labs. This guy, Joyce Van Gaal, Drupal entrepreneur at O40 Lab. Gabor, what's she? Drupal initiative coordinator at Acquia. Miro Michaliska, yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't know. DevOps at Jobico. Serapi Bhakti, community manager at Srijan Technologies. And Suzanne Dergacheva, co-founder of Evolving Web. And last but not least, Sophie Meyer, project manager at 1x Internet. And with this team of people, we were able, with a diverse team of people, let me say that, we were able to, pull off something that I would have never imagined. So in order to get to where I needed to get to launch a platform, we kind of need to have content. So we've got the marketing team is ready and they need content to help drive everything. And we had the development team working away and the design was, it's okay, it's more or less fine. Yeah, so we just needed content now. So a good marketing launch. Oops. This video autoplays. I really should have fixed the jobs.
Hi, how's it going? How are you celebrating Drupal? For me, I have a much needed haircut to make. Just like we deprecate code in Drupal 8 to Drupal 9, I'll be doing the same. So there we have it, deprecated code, gone. Upgrading Drupal 8 to Drupal 9 is as easy as getting a haircut. If you need help to make sure that your page speed is up to standard, feel free to reach out to us at Easy Labs.
That's the last video I have with sound, so hopefully we won't have any more issues. But so aside from the one slide that we skipped, which more or less said we needed a video and a photo, we have the video, which was me getting a haircut, deprecating my code. And we had a photo as well. Christian Post, son, Aaron Deutsch, was able to do this fantastic little comical Drupal, and I thought it was perfect to use for the first image of the platform. So I reached out a few times to Kristen, and yeah, she was very excited to share her son's drawings, and Aaron was as well to be involved. And he did many fantastic artwork, as well as other people inspired, I think, Heather Rucker's son to also do similar for the Drupal community. And it definitely helped get people into the spirit of, we have only a week to go to celebrate Drupal 9 launch together remotely during this pandemic. 6 days until Drupal 9 is launched, May 28th. So with the pressure mounting, we had our MVP ready. We needed the go live before noon on the 28th, today. As the project will be featured in the weekly drop newsletter. Thanks, Gabo, for getting that sorted out. I finalized the theming for the front end and tested on a few different browsers with different viewports. And we went live at 7 in the morning, 5 hours before the hard deadline. It was a huge success with over 84 submissions in the first day. And we still had 6 days until Drupal 9 was officially launched. So I think that's something. We went live. I did a long, 10, 20 tweets, Twitter thread thingy you can read here. Yeah, I'll post all these links somewhere later. I mean, my slides are on GitHub anyway. Yeah, it was what an achievement, something totally worth celebrating. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit in time because I have a time machine next to me. Now we're in June 3rd, DrupalCon Global 2020. Yes, I had always envisioned that the platform would be used for various events, not just the Drupal 9 release. I had updated the default taxonomy terms so that all the entity types pointed to DrupalCon Global, and this allowed me to easily group content to do something special, and that was to do a DrupalCon photo. So with DrupalCon, I kind of liked this, so the logo and so on. And during the first remote conference, it became evident that we all missed being able to connect in person with each other. I wanted to give back to the community, to enhance the platform with its own special DrupalCon photo. So I set out to design the DrupalCon logo with CSS grid values. I unfortunately don't have all of the design that I did beforehand, where I kind of mapped out every single grid value, column, row, of a 13 by 12 or 13 by 14 setup. But here is the final result. So it technically breaks down after 280 images because I have to manually write down the CSS values for every single column and row. I guess I could have used JavaScript or something, but I can just use CSS, it's fine. Yeah. And quite a few people tweeted that they thought this was pretty, well, amazing, I would say, in their words. I wouldn't say it. I mean, I think it was cool. Yeah, I can do better probably. So with that, I'm going to jump to the future again. Right now, we have this platform. It's for everyone. It's a way that we connect together and celebrate in our own way. So how can we as a community build upon this platform? And what kind of features do you want to see? We want everyone to be able to celebrate any Drupal event on the platform, with the ability to look back and see your celebrations over time via your user profile, for example. Does this interest you? Perhaps you want to help. Feel free to reach out to help with contribution or just, celebrate in your own way with me. Everything is open source. Links to GitHub are in the footer of the website. I will probably rename it a little bit, but that's why I didn't post it here. And I see we still have some time, so there is a little bonus surprise. If you go to the website now, and during DrupalCon Global, I have created another setup with for the DrupalCon unofficial photo, because we have this nice platform on Kumi's portal, which does enough collage. But I wanted to ask everyone, can you guess all of the buildings that I've created? Yeah, I had to use CSS script mask, and I created these polygons manually, which was kind of a pain. I have no idea why I put myself through that. SVGs would have worked totally fine images, but I wouldn't have been able to animate it. And actually the animation is kind of broken because I'm basically merging all of the little polygons from out of the screen into the middle, and some of them I placed in the wrong area and it kind of flips sometimes. Yeah. That's kind of all for this presentation. So I just want to say thank you for sticking around, and I will check if there's any questions from anyone.